I hope you guys are all ready for what's about to come. The Bank for International Settlements unveils game-changing CBDC blueprint using privatized and controlled crypto technology. The chief legal officer of Coinbase just noticed that in all these crypto lawsuits, some people, especially the people in control, are really not following the rules. Let's talk about that. And in reality, guys, from almost every perspective, the US is falling. They're not doing so good. This year, I've been to the US twice and I think it was amazing. But from an economic perspective, from a freedom perspective, things are not in the best of situations. And at the same time, we've been talking about corruption. We've been talking about manipulation. But guys, it really seems like a fiction movie. Best-selling author claims JP Morgan, Federal Reserve, and Ethereum colluded to harm XRP. And the craziest thing about it is, I believe it too. It really makes too much sense that some of these parties came together to either just promote the living crap out of Ethereum or to do that while also numbing down XRP, which at the time, over the last couple of years, has been in a fight over the number 2 spot in crypto. It really is crazier than fiction, all this stuff. So let's watch this carefully. And also, guys, if you love going outside, or you hate going outside, but you love plants, or you don't like plants, but you love these videos, make sure you press that like button because, why not? It helps out a ton, and you are very much appreciated. So, thank you. Anyway, right now, crypto's in a really interesting spot. We just had a breakdown in terms of Bitcoin's price, but funny enough, if you zoom out ever so slightly, you can notice we're actually on the up and up. We just had ourselves a golden cross in Bitcoin a while ago already, but it seems that the momentum has not actually faded, and I still, as of this point, believe that the bull run has started. Again, these major blue lines here are the halving cycles, and I still believe, guys, that you see a continued pattern time and time again, where slightly before the end of the halving, you see a little bit of a dip, but the bull market starts. Let's just call it about halfway throughout the cycle with an all-time high in the beginning of the cycle. It just happens time and time and time again. A lot of you guys are saying, but crypto's not doing so good. Well, actually, this week, Bitcoin has closed at the highest price since the last 406 days. The last time we had a close that was this high was the 9th of May 2022. It's been more than a year since we closed at these levels. And so if you're still thinking, no, things are looking bearish, even though we've been up, I think roughly 100%, something like that, from the bottom, and we're just continuing to go higher and higher. And again, the momentum is not fading just quite yet. The only thing we can say is, well, on the short term, yeah, we just broke down. That's not that good. But every single time it happens, the whales are scooping it right back up. Every single time Bitcoin tries to break down, it's just being eaten up like a freaking cake. And as I keep saying, I think right now is the best time to prepare for the next major bull market. I just think if you keep buying right now, in the next couple of months, you'll really thank yourself. Especially coins like XRP with an amazing risk-reward potential, but there's a couple of other coins that I really enjoy buying. Let me rephrase that. There's not that many coins that I don't enjoy buying because I just think things are about to pop off. And I think people that are sleeping on it thinking, no, we're going to go down lower, are going to be the ones that are missing out. That does not mean that you're guaranteed to make money if you buy now. Obviously, because many coins will still fail. But I think the risk to reward makes it very much worth it to double down right now in these times. Again, not financial advice, just my thoughts, but yeah. Anyway, like we were saying, the institutions are getting in heavy, right? Bank of International Settlements unveils a game-changing CBDC blueprint. And it's funny how whatever they describe here is pretty similar to what the IMF just described. And again, it's all basically copying what Ripple has been doing. And they're all showing these bullish signs for whatever Ripple has been building. And to just quickly continue with that story, it just seems more and more like they've noticed what Ripple through XRP and the XP Ledger has been doing is just that good that they don't want it to succeed because they want somebody else to succeed in that. And so it really makes a whole lot of sense when you start strategizing and thinking about why they decided to keep it down, why they decided to slap it down to the freaking ground. Anyway, I don't give bestseller any credit at all because I think you can literally make your own book a bestseller or just buy the title, theoretically speaking. So I don't give that any credit at all. But the point she makes a lot of sense. In the early days, Buterin, Tron, and other people appeared at the Ripple office as interns and employees, which is very funny, right? Vitalik Buterin, intern. Justin Sun, I don't know exactly what role he had, again, at Ripple. It now appears they were sent by the Fed and China. people have found out. I mean, Justin Sun, you don't have to even question because obviously Chinese. But Buterin, we've seen the connections with China and they've been confirmed. We all know it. Now, whether or not they've been sent by these entities, I do not know. But it's funny how later on Vitalik turned his back so much against Ripple. And then the original vision, it's just so interesting how that changed. Anyway, the Fed banks knew Ripple would create a level playing field, which would take their power. So they wanted to kind of destroy it from the inside out. They had some plans to make XRP irrelevant, or at least numb it down through these lawsuits and the regulatory uncertainty that's been lingering over almost every single crypto except for Ethereum, funny enough, which again, people have placed so many connections with. And Linda P. Jones just describes in great detail how this manipulation could have worked. With insider trading, collusion, they can get away with it all. Because with crypto, it's not that hard. Even though everything is transparent, the rules were not there deliberately, but the incentives still were. So there's not really that many rules, and we know that even from the SEC's ethics office, and we know that many of these guys like William Him and Jay Clayton could have almost confirmed had some conflict of interest, and it's been confirmed just by the community, not even by these major investigators that have all the information. Well, it just seems ever so more than likely. And at first, it was only the XP community going after it, all right? But now, even guys like Coinbase here, here's Brian Armstrong, but also Paul Grewal, the CEO at Coinbase, they're all starting to find out that this really is just BS, simply put. So Brian says, this is the CEO of Coinbase yet again, economic freedom remains an important measure of every country's potential for growth and prosperity. And increasing economic freedom is Coinbase's mission, which again has been a fight against the SEC, a fight against all these growing powers that are trying to manipulate you. The US unfortunately has fallen in economic freedom rankings over the years, and it's quite logical because a lot of people are just hungry for money and power, like we've seen at the SEC. However, I still believe in the justice system. I still believe the judge will look through it all. But as a lot of you guys have commented out in the comment section, potentially this judge or a lot of these judges are in on the same system. A lot of you guys pointed that out, and it does also make sense that there's just higher powers at play here, and the judge can't. But I still believe that the justice system is okay, where just the facts get brought up that the SEC can't make all these allegations without wanting to reply to Coinbase and sit down, without trying to reply to Ripple, without trying to reply to all these guys and sit down while stalling every single time, just being vague and having double standards, etc. I hope that just somebody there is like, you know what, this doesn't make a lot of sense. We've seen some Congress pressure. We've seen some pressure from the Financial Committee, right? Which is next month going to try and make some rules. I hope that all this pressure just also gets to the judge's head of like, you can't keep denying these things. Why allow a Bitcoin leverage ETF but not a spot ETF? What's the point? Why be so positive in a speech towards Ethereum, even though it was not wise to do so in any way, shape, or form? Why? And the conflict of interest, they can't be denied. Anyway, John Deaton had an interesting thing to say. I called this Your Honor, we're reserving our right to call everything a security at a later date when we have a politically motivated reason to do so argument. Now, what is that referring to? Take a look. Maybe I've got it wrong, but as I review the transcript of Binance's hearing before Judge Jackson, since when does Rule 8 or 11 allow any party, let alone the government, to reserve identifying what exactly it claims to get past a motion to dismiss and into discovery? Quote, the court, the others that you say they're trading, in that you're not saying are securities because you're not saying all of the ones they're trading in are securities, correct? End quote. Let's actually quickly go deep. The SEC counsel saying now, we, at this time, Your Honor, we're reserving our rights. Just given we are at a pleading stage, we have to get into discovery where we can make a full assessment. But our position, Your Honor, is that if one of these coins are a security, we've won. The court saying, so I'm asking you, the ones that you are not putting in the securities category, what are they? Are they commodities? Which is a fair question by the court. And the SEC counsel said, we are not, thank you, Your Honor. We are not taking a position on those at this time. We are at a pleading stage. We are trying to get past, any potential motion to dismiss and satisfying our burden under the rules. The SEC counsel said, again, to continue, so we think, way more than is required under Rule 8. We gave the court and the parties notice as to, I think the number is 14 total coins, including BNB, which is at issue in the TRO. And a lot of people are asking, so why are the freaking judges not throwing this out? Because they seem to just sue without having evidence, without being able to back it up, without having a full-on claim. They just say, you know what? We think a couple of coins are securities. Some might be, some might not. We'll see later on if they really are. what? Excuse me? How does that work? No, I want to sue that guy. For how much? I don't know. Let's see as it goes. For what exactly? I don't know. Let's see once we actually get into the lawsuit what exactly I can grab from them and what exactly it is I'm suing them for and what exactly it is that I can't sue them for. Let's just see. That doesn't make sense at all, right? You got to get into this knowing what exactly is wrong. You can't look at... So they just looked at Binance and saw, you know what? We think a couple of these are wrong, maybe more, but we'll see, right? And the judge is like, well, but are some things right? She's like, I don't know, maybe. Let's see. We just want to get this out of the way. We just want to get this started. And then we'll figure out our minds along the way. Which, again, should ring a bell in the judge's head of thinking, so they're basically BSing their way through everything. They can't properly claim that whatever they're not claiming is then, by definition, good. No, they're just saying, we're claiming some things, not everything, and we'll figure it out. Crypto attorney came in to say Reserve makes it feel like they have no bullets in their chamber, but they're hoping to find some during the course of the discovery, which basically translates to they probably have no idea how to go after other cryptos, but they hope that Binance wrote something somewhere or it's in one of those documents so that they can now make some new allegations. And Paul Grewal from Coinbase, this chief legal officer, said, yes, but if traceability in Section 11 case is subject to Twickball, how on earth can Rule 8 tolerate playing the ball on what tokens exactly are claimed securities? As an example, Section 11 of the Securities Act provides a cause of action. Oh, you guys can't see. There we go. To any person who buys a security issued under a materially false or misleading registration statement, which again, just based off of this, you can't claim if you don't know, right? Because if you can't find these materially false or misleading registration statements, then how can you allege they've done something wrong, if you guys understand my drift? Plaintiffs need not have purchased shares in the offering made under the misleading registration statement. Those who purchase shares in the aftermarket have standing to sue provided they can trace their shares back to the relevant offering. So this is all about false or misleading registration statements. And funny enough, even Binance is just kind of looking into this, actually asking for a nicer way from this bot to read the thread. And let me reiterate, what the SEC here is claiming in essence is not the weird part, is that they're saying they're reserving it to something in the future. If they just said, hey, we've alleged these 14 securities flat, that wouldn't really be too crazy. But it's like, well, we don't know about the rest. We're reserving the right to explain more about it as we go further into the lawsuit. That makes it crazy. If they just said, hey, this is enough evidence, point, period. Don't care about the rest. These are the 14 we allege. That's it. I wouldn't have been here saying that's weird, right? But it's the fact that they're saying, no, we don't know about those just quite yet. We're reserving the right to get back to this later. That makes it very, very odd. And it's kind of funny that they're actually being honest about it, right? Matt Feinberg as well kind of explains it's just about their semantics here for the most part. And Paul Gray was kind of laughing it off. Anyway, it's just been so interesting to me that they went after XRP under these crazy pretenses, and people really didn't think it was too weird until the SEC kind of thought, hey, this is so easy, let's go on a stroll, or potentially there were different powers at play, I don't know. But they went after so and so much that right now they've got themselves stuck in a very nasty place. I'm not saying Ripple is fully holy. I'm not going to say they did everything right according to the books, the way they should have had, or that they've not done anything wrong or anything like that. Same thing for Coinbase, same thing for Binance. But the point here is, which of the two is the lesser evil? And I still, as of this point, believe the SEC is way worse proportionally than all these other ones combined. Especially because I think Binance, Ripple, and Coinbase can back their claims up properly, and the SEC can't. And with the BS we've been seeing recently here, it just seems more and more and more like this is all just one big charade. Because it really is crazier than fiction. The claims they're trying to make, and, well, they've really fought themselves too much into a dumb position. What I mean with that is, had they stopped with only going after Ripple, getting the verdict, which could have been, good for the SEC, and then moving on, with that as a basis, they could have gotten somewhere. But they put too much hay on their freaking hay fork, and now they're starting to fall over, and the hay fork's like pitching them in the freaking neck. Yeah. Can't say it was a smart move, can't say they'll survive this, but what I can say is that if you've got the notification bell on, you've got a very good chance of making yourself juicy amounts of money. I will say two things. One, join the Discord right now, because we're going to be sharing so many cool things in there, and I want you guys to have a cool group to build together, to bond together, and hopefully get some cool ideas out of, and hopefully make more money together out of, for completely free, obviously. Just join the Discord, link is down below, and also put the notification bell on, so hopefully you get notified whenever something crazy happens, because I try to make videos or live streams as soon as something hits the market. So yeah, that's about it. Those two things, very important. Join the Discord, which I know is annoying, but make sure you join it for your own benefit. You can always not talk in there, but I recommend you guys just stay alive in there a little bit. And second of all, notification bell, very important for in case something crazy happens, you are notified. You can always watch or not watch the video, right? But you need to at least be notified. That's what I always say. That's about it.